Welcome to another insightful episode of Value Seller Talks with Deepak Bajaj. I'm your host Deepak, and today we are honored to have Mr. Sifiso Lukhele, the Managing Director at Lukhele Mobile, based at South Africa, as our distinguished guest. With over 26 years of extensive experience in the telecommunication infrastructure and services support, Sifoso has established himself as a visionary leader and a key player in the telecommunication industry. From managing sales portfolio across sub-Saharan Africa to spearheading innovative solutions in the telecommunication sector, his journey is nothing short of inspiring. We are thrilled to delve into his experience, insights, and the future of the telecommunications. So, Sukiso, over to you.
Thank you, Deepak, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks, Sifiso. Sifiso, we know your professional background, we know the achievement which you have made. But before we go more deep into that, we really want to understand who is the Sifiso as a person.
Right. Okay. Absolutely. I think Sifiso is a normal guy, just a normal guy who's led an extraordinary life in telecommunications, and telecoms has actually allowed me to see the world, which is a beautiful thing. But let's see. My greatest achievements, I think, probably in life is being father to my loving children, and being a loving husband as well. I'm a family-orientated man who loves watching football, soccer for our American counterparts, and motorsport. So, namely, I'm a big supporter of Liverpool Football Club and BMW Motorsport. So I follow that quite a lot.
Wow. Yeah, you rightly mentioned soccer.
Correct.
Right. Because you have a remarkable career spanning over 2.5 decades in the telecommunication industry. Could you share with us how your journey started and some of the important movements that shaped your career?
Okay. Well, if I'm going back, I guess it starts out with, let's say I admired my father, first of all. So my father was an accountant, and he drove the BMW, which is where my love for BMW came. And I guess in life, what I wanted to do when I finished high school was I wanted to get the BMW. And for me, how do you get the BMW? You become an accountant. So and I went and I studied accounting. I didn't like it at all. I actually hated it quite a bit. I found out that I hated it once I'd done it, but I finished it, and I didn't want to become an accountant. So an opportunity came about for me to join MTN. So I joined MTN lowly as a customer service agent. So when I started at MTN South Africa as a customer service agent, I found out that within the customer services, they had a technical side on customer services where the customers would call in and say they have a problem with coverage where they stay. And so I joined that team within customer services, and I'd go out to people and do TEMS measurements at their house, work with the planning engineers to optimize the network so that they could get better coverage at their homes. So I did that and ended up doing that for the NOC manager.
Okay.
I did that for the NOC manager, and the NOC manager sort of liked the way I helped him and the way I broke down what the actual problem was and how we optimized it. And he actually said, I have an opening in the NOC. And I was like, but I'm not an engineer. But it's like, the way you explain things, you're an engineer, my friend. So, yeah, I interviewed for the job and I got it, which was quite interesting. So that was my first foray into telecommunications, really. Now, as a NOC manager, I quickly became a NOC supervisor, and with the way I was breaking down my work, it was going all the way to high-level support before it went to Ericsson, who was our network provider at the time, the OEM, the vendor. So I did the extraordinary jump from, because it used to be structured the NOC, it would go to level 1 support, level 2 support, level 3 support, and then high-level support. I managed to jump from the NOC straight to high-level support. Wow. They recruited me, and I joined them. And I think within 18 months of joining high-level support at MTN, Ericsson came knocking and said, "We like the way you do your work. Would you like to come and join us?" And I ended up going to join Ericsson. And I came into Ericsson as a senior support engineer. And I transitioned over the years from senior support to solution sales to becoming an account manager, actually. So that was my stint at Ericsson. And then I got recruited by CommScope. They needed an account manager looking after MTN, so that was interesting. I managed to join CommScope, ended up being a key account manager looking after MTN Group. And before then, I was then approached by Marvania, who I joined as the sales director, looking after the sub-Saharan African market, for looking after the Vodacom Group. And then I left to look after Lukhele Mobile and grow it, and now I'm the managing director.
Wow. So you have shared all the phases, right? Reading an accountant to the managing director. By the way, what's the status
from
of
being technical as well, an engineer, all the way to
What's the update about the BMW? How many BMWs you have right now?
Now I only just have one.
So your dream has fulfilled.
Yeah, correct. But I mean, in my lifetime, I've had about 15. So.
Wow! Congratulations! Congratulations! The dream come true, and the name which you have mentioned, all the brands, and especially the MTN, which is a big, a largest employer in Africa right now, I believe.
Correct. Yes.
Yes. Great. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. And this is inspiration for most of the people who really believe that they just remain in that domain or that lobby, and they cannot, and they don't think that they can move forward. And you have proved that starting from an accountant studies till the engineer, covering all the phases to the managing director is really very, very much possible. Thank you, Sifiso, for highlighting. Now,
my pleasure.
I now focus on your venture Lukhele Mobile. So as the managing director, tell us about something about your venture and what is the purpose behind it.
Okay, so Lukhele Mobile is a device company, and essentially we are trying to give the rural community, the rural and peri-urban community, an opportunity to experience first world connections. So having a smart device at an affordable price. That's what we're doing. Essentially trying to help our customers take back their tomorrow. So everybody has a vision about what they will look like tomorrow. We're trying to make sure that they have that today.
True. All right. And this rural connectivity is not possible if you don't have a smartphone. So
correct.
On it.
Right. Correct. And I think there's been some Google statistics that once a community is connected to the internet, it can actually grow the per capita income that they have in a village or a community. So that's what we're pretty much helping, and that's the answer that we're trying to do. So my role at Lukhele Mobile really has just been trying to spearhead, using my industry contacts, trying to spearhead this dream and this vision, and we're well on our way. With some R&D, we've actually finalized now, and we will be launching this year actually our first mobiles, which will be shared amongst the networks.
Oh no, I wish you best of luck, and that's the need of the hour. And bringing the phones at affordable prices with all the features, everyone is looking forward to that. Thanks
Correct.
for building that community. Uh, Now you mentioned your transition from a sales director to the managing director. So what is your, it comes with a overall P&L, profit and loss responsibility as a big role. So what were the key challenges and learning experience you have faced during this transition?
So it's actually quite a big role and an important role, in the sense that now you need to understand the different departments that are in a company. So the human resource side of it, the IT side of it, and how you get it funded, and how they bring in money, or rather bring in resources and tools to help the people who are working for you do better and bring in the revenue that the company needs. So that transition has been quite a very steep one, but very exciting as well.
Right. I totally understand. The managing the team is the most complicated thing. And, working alone versus managing the team and bringing the numbers and investors happy, I can understand the challenges that you are facing.
Correct. Especially coming from an engineering background, it's you as an engineer, you also want to know how things work as well. So trying to make sure that you know how things work, but you're not too involved in it, because there's people that you've hired who are good at that.
True. Agree. So delegating your knowledge as well as holding yourself not to become senior engineer, right?
Yes, correct. It's very hard to do, but it's good and it's rewarding.
True. Agree. 100% agree. And that's the important message, because I'm also inviting a lot of first-time entrepreneurs, on the podcast as well. And they hold the CEO cap, but they're actually doing a senior engineering job. And always we told them, okay, stop here. Now you have a team, focus on your team rather than becoming a senior engineer.
Correct. And focus on growing the company. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that's what you need to do. You're a custodian who's now looking after this baby that is the company, and you have to ensure that it grows.
Agree. And managing your customers, that is more important.
Yeah, correct. So, especially because your customers have expectations, and they need you to be innovative as well. So it's good to be innovative too.
True. Agree. Thanks for sharing that part. And so now if I look at your previous roles, especially at Mavenir South Africa, so you manage sales portfolio for Vodacom Group, which is present in multiple countries or in the sub-Saharan region. So can you tell us about some of the significant achievements and the challenges which you faced during this period, especially handling the group?
Yeah, so it was, I think the nice part about it was different countries have different cultures. So having been in telecommunications for as long as I have been, and with the help of Ericsson, I was able to go and visit a lot of those countries and understand the local nuances and how business is done. Because business is not necessarily general, how you do it everywhere, but certain countries have certain way of doing business. So that background helped me to be able to go and knock and say respectfully, I know that you have somebody who's providing the service, but we'd also like you to trial our service as well, especially because a lot of the customers hadn't even heard of Mavenir.
Yeah. Right. And especially if I look at the telecom industry, which we all know it's evolving, right? So what advancement in cloud computing, 5G, now we are talking about AI, ML, everything, and especially the new competitors landscape in the market, right? How do you see that the industry is evolving in next 3 to 5 years, and how the companies should remain competitive?
Okay, that's actually a good question. I think the telecommunications industry is poised for a significant evolution over the next 5 years, driven by the advancements in cloud computing, 5G, and new entries into the market, the competitors, really. So I think the key trends will probably be cloudification. So telecom infrastructure now increasingly moving to the cloud, and having those network features in the cloud is actually going to help greatly with scalability, flexibility, and cost savings. I mean, cloud native networks and services are the future, and they will become the norm, especially after 2030. I mean, now. So if we look at things like 5G advancement, 5G will continue to roll out globally. We thought there would be a higher uptake already, but I think it's sort of rolling out slowly globally. And enhancements like millimeter wave, edge computing, and network slicing, that's actually also going to help as well. So these are big things that we'll see in the future coming into the telecoms industry. So with that in mind, I mean, you think about the new use cases that actually will come with that. So massive machine type communications. So lots of machine to machine communications now is going to be higher. Ultra high definition streaming with low latency applications, which we see is doing quite something, especially within the warehousing space. So now there's lots of human interaction and more machine to machine movement of, let's say, within the manufacturing space, and as well as people with big warehouses like the Amazons of this world, who are big distribution companies. So these kind of 5G networks within those kind of mega warehouses is actually key, and hence the low latency and real time stuff that's being done. I mean, you see with some of the applications even within mining as well. We have lots of autonomous mining trucks as well, which is one of the bigger projects that Marvinier did in Australia as well. So they have like 5,000 trucks that they don't have any people driving them. They're just picking up the iron ore, and transporting it.
So is that what you get? Driverless trucks?
Yeah, driverless trucks, correct. Autonomous. So which is quite interesting. So you have like a driver who's looking after 10 trucks and seeing that they're all doing the right thing.
Right. Yeah. Only thing which come in my mind is Tesla, right?
Right, Tesla.
Exactly.
Of course,
right.
yes.
So,
But this is on a big scale. So I mean, this is key when you have a dedicated 5G network looking after those things.
It's sort of private networks, right?
Yeah, private network, correct.
Okay.
So that's the future. And then of course, definitely Open RAN, and then the disaggregation of the RAN infrastructure. That's also something that we must look forward to.
I 100% believe that we talk about disaggregated openness, and all the applications sitting on top of that. And this is one of the use cases which you rightly mentioned, and there are many. And the Africa is getting for these unique use cases which belongs to African culture, right?
Correct, definitely.
And,
yes,
and also around every country has their own challenges.
Yeah.
No, thank you for that. And Africa is 53 countries continent, right?
Yeah, over 54.
54, sorry.
Yes, correct.
Right.
So yeah. So I mean, yeah, as you said, the industry is there's so much to speak about. Don't think we'd probably even have time if I really went to it. But I'm doing some key trends. So I mean, I still have the edge computing. Edge computing as well is still going to become critical, especially with the advent of the 5G and the low latency. This is going to become key, especially within network optimization, security, which then leads me to the next one, which is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is actually one of the big things now, especially with data sensitivities and data leaks and things like WikiLeaks, which wouldn't survive without those kind of data leaks. So, we have to try and stop all those things as we go forward. And of course, the normal digital transformation, which is happening for everybody. So yeah, in summary, I think that the telecoms industry will undergo a significant transformation in the next 5 years, driven by technological advancements, new entrants into the market, I think, and a shift in customer demands. Because now I think there's lots more that the customers are expecting. Just fast internet is not going to cut it anymore. It's we need more. We always want more. So embracing, like cloud computing, 5G, AI, open architectures will be crucial for the success of this evolving landscape.
We want more and on demand.
Of course, yes.
Everything.
We want everything now.
Oh, yes, exactly. Well, I can understand that if we go into this technology discussion, the 1 hour will be too less. But yes, I have to cut it down. Okay, let's move to the next phase. Otherwise, I can see the passion within you when you talk about these technologies. Before you speak, I can read your eyes as well.
Oh wow, thank you.
Yeah. So you mentioned that the importance of the consultative approach in the selling, especially the competitive solution. So
Correct.
could you elaborate on how this approach benefit the customer and the service provider for the win-win agreement?
No, sure, definitely. I mean, I think it's one of the key things of why I went into sales. It's the interaction and the ability to convince somebody of your proposition. And I mean, how do you do that? It's, I think, consultative approach in selling competitive solutions involves understanding the customer's specific needs, finding out what the customer's challenges are and their goals. I mean, in as far as where do they want to go. So if you know and you understand that and understand what they have currently, then you can tailor make solutions that will help them reach their goals as cost effectively as they can. I mean, there's some benefits to the customer in the sense that they get a personalized solution, and it's tailored to their specific needs, increasing their likelihood of successful implementation and adoption as well from the customer side. Increased efficiency, if they can see that your solution is going to make them better, faster, it's definitely going to be a win-win in that instance. It's also going to help them improve their decision making as well. I mean, if they are more agile in that sense, that decision making will become easier and quicker. And then definitely for their end user, they'll have an enhanced customer experience. So if things become more seamless, it's actually better for the end user. And with the happy end user means a happy customer for you as a value seller.
Well, yeah, I like this word.
Yeah, and then benefits actually for the service provider, a deeper customer relationship. You get to know, them in and out. You know what makes them tick. Which is, if somebody understands you like that, it's easier to sell to somebody because, it's like having a trusted partner. That's right. Somebody you can go to and confide in. Some of the things you wouldn't tell the other vendors or other OEMs. But once you've built up that trust relationship, then you can be like, actually, we have an actual problem here. How do you help us to overcome it? And that will then give you competitive differentiation.
True.
You know, it
True.
makes you stand out from your competitors in that sense. Because now you are now providing solutions and they'll be like, how did he know that we had this problem, kind of thing. So it makes you feel, or rather makes the customer feel appreciated. And in that way, they get to increase their revenue, and you get to improve your solution development as well. Because some of these issues are probably being experienced by the other network operators. They just don't know it. So if you're able to solve the solution here, you can always go to your other customers and say, "Do you guys know that you might have this problem?" And then you make them aware of it, which will, and at the end of the day, enhance your reputation as well. So this is a trusted guy. He knows what we need even before we need it. So yeah, by adopting the consultative approach, I think you can move sort of beyond simply selling products and to delivering value-added solutions and address the customer's specific needs and challenges, ultimately benefiting both parties.
So trust is the baseline on which everything will be built. And nowadays, all our networks, all our solutions should be based on that thin line, which is trust. And the job is to make this thin line a broader one, a wider one.
Yeah. And ensure.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then when it comes to because you've been to the OEM lobby, you've been to the operator CSP lobby as well, and now you are running your own venture. But there's always one thing which has to be make a perfect balance. So which we talk at that how to ensure the technical and commercial with the viability of telecom projects, and how do you balance these two aspects when proposing and implementing your solutions?
That's a good question. Right. Ensuring balanced technical and commercial viability is actually quite crucial, especially in proposing and implementing telecom solutions. As I mentioned before, it's key to understand the customer's requirements. Clearly define the customer's technical and commercial needs, including their goals, their constraints and priorities. So initially, it's always good to do like a SWOT analysis of the situation, and from that SWOT analysis, it sort of feeds into your technical feasibility study as well, where you assess the technical viability of what you're proposing, and see if it will actually address the issues that you have. It's then when you've sort of customized the technical solution, then you'll see its commercial viability. So with that, you'll be able to evaluate the commercial aspects of the revenue and the ROI, see if there's any return on investment and how quickly they'll be able to get it. Everybody wants something that will pay for itself. So if you're able to provide that to the customer, then you've done most of their work as well for them, and they are able to then present that to their management and say, this is going to help. We're going to invest this much, but the return on it is going to be this much. Which makes it interesting as well, and they're able to meet their KPIs and get a good bonus, I think, at the end of the year. So if you're able to help your customer get good bonuses, then it goes a long way. And then, once the solution has been sort of designed and optimized, then there's the cost benefit analysis that you do, especially in the maintenance. Because do that, you are able to also sell that this is going to be your TCO on this solution. And then with that TCO, you'll be able to do sort of risk assessments and mitigations, and then sort of stakeholder alignment as well. One of the key things as well, because your solution will not be just a standalone. It's going to have to interwork with the other parts of their business.
Right.
So that's key. Yeah, I think that allows you to be agile and flexible. And if you follow this sort of structured approach, you can strike a balance between technical and commercial. and that ensures successful telecoms projects deployment.
Yeah, yeah. We always call it land and expand, right? So you start with something and then you start expanding in other verticals of the same organization so that everyone should get a single pane of glass. We always call it, and which includes all your TCOs and other OPEX and the CAPEX requirements, along with the benefit which you mentioned, the bonuses at the end of the day.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Right. Right. And especially from a customer relationship management. So building and managing strong relationship with the customer in the industry is the key, right? There's no brainer. But what strategies you have found which work most effectively in fostering long-term relationship with the same clients?
So one of the key things is we're not always work. One of the key things is to understand that I think, as I mentioned, I have two loves, which is Liverpool Football Club and BMW Motorsport. So if I'm able to allow you to relax that much, that you're able to share that information with me, I can ensure that we can have something that we can speak about something that you care about. So if I can leverage on your heartstrings there and say, it's a good conversation opener. Did you see what Liverpool did this weekend? So instead of us always talking about work, we can talk about other things that sort of affect your life, but also your work life too.
True.
So those are key things, and that's how you foster long-term relationships, is by listening.
Active listening is the key. And other than work, there's an individual and personal life also. So,
correct. And these things are very important to us as humans.
True. Exactly. Right. So the telecom industry is rapidly evolving, as we mentioned earlier as well. So how do you, as a person, you stay updated with the latest advancement and ensure that your company remains at the forefront of these technological innovations?
Correct. Well, look, I think one of the key things is lots and lots of reading, and being part of forums as well. I think there's quite a few LinkedIn forums as well that you're part of. Watching some of your podcasts as well. Your podcasts. This will let you know what's going on in the world, because everybody has a different undertaking or sort of understanding of what's happening in the world. So it's good to understand other people's perspectives as well, and where they think the technology is going or the industry is going. So with that, helps you stay at the forefront, especially in seeing what other people are doing. So going to things like Mobile World Congress as well, AfricaCom, you get to find out what people are doing out there and how they're taking the telecoms industry forward.
Yeah, these are very innovative firms. AfricaCom, especially MWC is the
the be all and end all.
Yeah. Everyone will be there once it's right. So now my focus will be especially on the aspiring professionals. It could be a startups, it could be a working professional as well. So what advice would you like to give, especially to the startups? I call it them a first-time entrepreneurs. How they can make a mark in the industry, and what are the common mistakes they admit, and what is your suggestion how they can avoid that?
Okay. Thanks. I think that's actually one of the most crucial questions that all first-time entrepreneurs or startup guys should start with, is identifying a genuine problem. So, what is your company doing, and what answer or what question are they answering? That's one of the key things. Is find a real problem to solve, and that should be your focus, because in that way you'll be able to sort of fill a genuine gap in the market, because there's sort of a solution for everything out there, but it's not sort of customized to how you see the problem in your market.
Sure.
There's no one size fits all. There's always different nuances for every different market. So, it's just like how I can say, so Lukhele Mobile is answering the question of how do rural people get connection? One, two, with the peri-urban people that we have, how are they able to? Because one of the key differentiators that Lukhele Mobile does is it will help using IoT. It will help you connect to your IoT electricity prepaid meter and your IoT enabled water meter as well. So what people are seeing, especially in the peri-urban kind of scenario, is they will forget to top up their prepaid electricity meter. So they'll go to work during the day, the electricity is going to go off, and they'll only find out once they get home.
Okay.
Right? So in this instance, your meter will be able to alert your mobile and say, I'm running low. You can quickly go and buy a prepaid voucher for your electricity, and via your phone, send it directly to the meter, and the meter will then load it, and you'll be able to have electricity during the whole day.
Wow. So it means all these, the intercompatibility and interoperability is the part of your mobile as a part.
Yes.
That's one of the features.
Yes, one of the features, correct.
Wow. No, it sounds, so you're giving that comfort at the fingertips.
Of course, it's convenience at the end of the day. Which is what we all like. So that's the problem that we saw, and that's the one that we are solving. So but before we got there, we had to validate the idea, because it's not that IoT meters have been out there for a while. It's not something that's new. We just brought the capability together so that you'll be able to see and solve that, right? One of the key things is build a strong team. So one as a founder, if you're not able to get other founders as well, if you can't sell your idea to the next person, even if you're a friend, then how are you going to sell it to the world?
Agree with you. 100% with you.
So make sure that you build a strong team. Surround yourself with talented, dedicated, and passionate individuals who share your vision and who understand what you're trying to do. And focus on the customer experience. So the person who's actually going to buy your product, who are they? You should be able to tell us what they do and how will this make their lives easier.
Agree.
Stay lean and agile, and build relationships and network. These are key things that will help you. And more than anything, stay persistent and resilient, because the biggest thing that you'll get the most as a startup or an entrepreneur is everybody will just say no. I don't believe in your idea. I don't think it's going to work. And so you have to stay persistent and resilient and keep believing. Never doubt in yourself, because the more you believe in yourself, the more we'll believe in you.
Correct.
And keep learning and improving, because continuously updating your skills and knowledge, especially in your field, will help you stay ahead and in this fast-paced sort of startup world.
And never lower down your value. That is the
yes, never lower your value. Correct. That's exactly. I was going to say prioritize self-care. You are important, and especially the value that you're bringing to the world, never underestimate it at all. Stay true to your vision. Remain authentic and committed to your core values and mission.
True. 100% with you on that. And most of the people, most of the startups, they face a big challenge because they were most. I always say most of the engineers become entrepreneurs, and they are not in the habit of listening no. right?
Yes,
It's a
correct.
mindset game. Entrepreneurship is not about the numbers, it's about the mindset.
Yes,
And now
correct.
most of the time I'm listening when I say, become first time entrepreneur, they say, oh, we don't want to sell. I said, come on, man, you are doing a job.
What do you hear?
You're doing a
Correct,
job not for free, right?
correct.
Right. So thank you
Um,
for bringing all these points again.
yeah, of course. I think one last thing to say is,
Yeah.
um, these entrepreneurs must remember that success is a marathon, not a sprint.
Mm, yeah, important
So they
message.
must stay focused, adaptable, and dedicated, and
Agree.
they'll make a mark in the world.
Yes.
And those people who always say, I don't sell, is if you're able to talk about your product, you're selling it. So it's one of those interesting things as well. I always equate it as well to, if you come from a family where you are not the only child, you are always selling yourself to your parents that I'm the better child.
Hmm.
You're
Hmm.
always selling yourself to the teacher to say, out of all these students, I'm the better student. So never say you are not selling yourself, because even as an engineer, you are selling yourself to say what I'm doing is better than what the other engineers are doing.
And in return of the paychecks, monthly salaries.
Correct. Yes.
Right. Yeah. No, thank you for bringing that part. It remembers my starting day 6, 7 months back when I started talking about it. So yeah, the rejection is part of your journey. Enjoy it.
Yes, correct.
Right.
It should be
Uh,
water off a duck's back, because you will hear more no's than you hear yeses.
yeah. And it would be surprised if you get yes right from day one. I thought, oh,
Yeah, of
really?
course.
Okay. So, and now moving from a startups to the young professionals. So, what advice would you like to share with them? Because now young professionals or Gen Z, they come with a different mindset nowadays.
Of course, and I think it's one of the key things, that's key for any company, is
Mhm.
having talent, good talent.
Hmm.
Good talent is what differentiates you between being just a company or an exceptional company, right?
Right.
So I think the young professionals aspiring to make a mark in the world, or the telecoms industry as well, to be more specific, I'd say they must stay curious. They must keep learning.
Mhm.
The telecoms industry is rapidly evolving, um, on a day-to-day basis. So stay up to date with the latest technologies and trends. Um, Read journals, read books, be part of forums. As I mentioned, LinkedIn is a very good source as well of staying ahead, of being part of these forums. So develop strong foundations, especially in STEM. Um, Focus on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These are key things that will keep you abreast, that will make you understand actually, what's actually happening, because a lot of a lot of these new technologies come in with lots and lots of acronyms,
Hmm.
and trying to make sense of all those acronyms, you need to understand the building blocks.
True.
And science, technology, and engineering, mathematics are those building blocks that you need. They help you understand exactly how this fits into this new technology.
Hmm. And also have a proper visualization, because don't mug up. Just visualize it, because it will remain in your mind and heart for forever.
Correct, definitely. And with that, that's how you gain sort of like the experience, understanding network architecture,
Hmm.
because that's going to be fundamental. If you understand the network architecture and the basics, then you understand how the different chess pieces or puzzle pieces fit
Hmm.
into the bigger puzzle that is telecoms.
Correct. 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 Yeah. Perfectly mentioned. Thank you for that. So
For
this,
sure.
this brings to the end of my questions. I know there are a lot many things, but we have to take care of the time as well. But thank you, Sifiso, for sharing the valuable insights and experiences with us today. So your journey and the accomplishment in the telecommunication industry and your stories are really inspiring. And I'm pretty sure they motivate a lot of people who are hearing our podcast once it gets launched. And until next time, this is Deepak Bajaj signing off. Thank you. Stay hungry, stay persistent, and the words which have mentioned by Sifiso, follow that. These are the true key words which can make your business, which can make your career, which can make you as a person. Thank you, Sifiso.
Thank you, Deepak, and to everybody else, demonstrate a passion for innovation and progress all along. These are the key things that will help you. Focus on your skills and qualities, and this can position yourself for success. Thank you very much, Deepak. Thank you for the opportunity.
Pleasure.